Hi, and welcome to the Guardian Way. Today's episode discusses what we discussed last week about political conflicts. Only this week we're going to focus on issues that are surrounding political conflicts that happen in the workplace environment. Our co-host, of course, and producer for the entire series, Garrett Thomas, the founder CEO of Guardian Protection Force. Good morning, Garrett.
Good morning. Yeah, mitigating conflicts in general is one of the biggest goals here at Guardian. And one of them that often comes up is political discourse. It can create issues and it can be very distracting for employers, and it could create workplace violence issues.
Yeah, that was the thing. The main thing that you and I, when we talked about last week when this was being developed, was that political conflicts now just seem to be, if you just watch the news, there seems to be a a level of escalation, it seems, and more violence. It just seems like, aren't you also seeing that in your outreach and connecting with people?
Absolutely. Oftentimes, we do security for workplace violence scenarios, contentious terminations, and it seems that yes, it's becoming more common, and that people are just generally more willing to commit violence. So it's on another level of a concern than it has been in the past.
Well, this is great. Well, listen, I think we've got a great group of information here for our audience today. So, Garrett, why don't you take us through these and let's talk about how private security can help companies, mitigate this issue of political unrest at their workplace.
Yeah, first you need to have some proactive security policies and training. Have guidelines, help companies establish clear policies on political discussions and appropriate workplace behavior. I think it's very important that people know what is, acceptable in the workplace. A lot of times we find that people kind of push things a little further, and then management has to get involved and explain what is acceptable. De-escalation training. This is absolutely important. I've said it many times. You need to make sure that your security personnel are trained on staff and staff on conflict resolution. Sometimes, oftentimes security is trained for this, but regular staff is not. So let's say your receptionist, your management, or whatever positions you have. A lot of times they don't think of de-escalation training for those individuals, although it's common for security personnel to have de-escalation training. The other people do not. The problem with that is those other people may be very forward facing into the public. They might be the first to see the issues arise, and they should be trained in this. Visible security presence often deters these issues from happening. Heated political debates as they're going on. If there's a visual security presence, people tend to avoid confrontation. So that is a good deterrence. Monitoring and intervention, surveillance and access control is extremely important. Access control obviously helps keep people that are out in the public from coming in to places they shouldn't. But sometimes this is also an issue for inter conflict within the company. So that may not help in this scenario, but it'll certainly help for the public, that you don't have somebody out in the public coming in and creating issues. Anonymous reporting system. A lot of companies do not have this, and this can de-escalate issues from the beginning. If employees feel that they can report these things to management without fear of reprisal or anything like this, then you can investigate it, look into it, and go ahead and take care of what you need to do. Conflict mediation support. Security teams can work alongside HR to facilitate conflict mediation. HR also needs to be trained on conflict resolution, but security can also work with HR when things are getting a little bit more heated and they believe there might be an issue. Then you might want security and HR to work on this together. Emergency action plans, develop and implement protocols to handling workplace violence, including a rapid response plan for security to contain and de-escalate situations safely. Encourage neutral workspaces. Recommend policies that discourage overt political displays. Of course, consult your HR and legal, but where you can keep political, um, uh, political statements, political emblems, or political displays away, that is best. If you could have some sort of policy that just states that that's not allowed in the workplace, that can help drastically reduce these issues from occurring.
Well, Garrett, this has been a great episode in the sense that it's a really, really focused episode about an individual situation that does happen and is occurring in businesses. So let's wrap this up and let us know a little bit about how Guardian has got capabilities to affect not only policy development, but also training, especially for employees, and deterrence. So why don't you walk us through and close out our episode today with some of the different security services that a business can expect to get if they get in touch with Guardian?
Yeah, so get your first site assessment and workplace violence prevention development. As most people know, in California, that's now a requirement. We also have AI cameras solutions available, guard and patrol services, armed, unarmed, plainclothes, security operations plans, contentious termination services, and of course, executive protection.
Well, great, Garrett. Well, listen, why don't you sign us off and we'll look forward to seeing everybody on our next episode.
Thank you very much. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.